And good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to share this breaking news with everybody. Please do me a favor, no matter how you are watching this, please hit the share button. Please hit the share button. What we're seeing right now, we're seeing the craziness in action. We're seeing it full action. Look what you see on your screen right now. White House unveils new press badge restrictions, rules for access. You know what this means, right? Do you know what this means? This means we have an actual totalitarian government. Truly, this is what this means. They're actually violating the U.S. Constitution. And I've had so many conversations with people in the past, and I constantly tell them, I say, you know what? They don't care about the Constitution. And I have people sitting there arguing with me saying, but Will, we have the Constitution. We have the Constitution. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, we do have the Constitution. But when the power at B, they don't adhere to the Constitution. They don't care about the Constitution. It's just a piece of paper. It's just a document. They can care less. Now you have the federal government actually suppressing the free press. Where's the lawsuits at? Where are they? How come this is even happening? Listen to what's in this article.
The White House press office on Friday evening announced new rules to yank reporters' press badges and said that all journalists who currently have one will have to reapply by July 31st. The rules usher in a new era by closing a legal loophole that shielded journalists from retribution in the past. Federal court said that White House couldn't suspend reporters' badges under former President Donald Trump because the lack of formal rules warning of the possibility of deprived journalists of due process. The new rules serve as a warning and include vague standards to justify enforcement. The announcement is just 2 days after the World Press Freedom Day also outlines stricter policies for getting press passes, known as hard passes, and was met with unease in part due to the ill-defined rules for what conduct could result in getting reporters banished.
So basically what's happening here is that it's like they found a loophole per se to say you have to have certain criteria in order to come into the White House press conference meetings to ask questions. So basically what else they're doing, they're actually squashing the independent media outlets. This is what this is about. Unless you are state media. And do you know what state media is? I'm pretty sure many of you know exactly what that is. State media is the same thing that Hitler was doing when he was in power. The only information that they would release is what the state media would allow to be released. Basically propaganda. And that's what's happening here. So all of the independent news reporters, all these independent journalists, they're going to squash them and not be able to ask any questions because if they're going to do this at the White House, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have Facebook, you'll have YouTube, you'll have many of those, right? They will suppress information because you are not an actual journalist. I've heard him say that multiple times because you're reporting on information. The U.S. Constitution, when it says free press, that's exactly what it means. It means free press. You are a citizen of the United States of America. You're part of the free press. Listen.
That's it for that report.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, my goodness, there's so much.
It goes into a lot of rules and stuff that they're changing. Basically, they have to have IDs. They have to have proof of being with certain outlets for a certain amount of time. I mean, it really gives them, they have to give a whole resume before they get an application. You know what? And the other thing is if you do something that the press secretary doesn't like, and we know that she yells back at the press quite a bit, you can be removed.
Remember Simon? Simon would say, hey, you haven't called on me in 7 months. So they're going to restrict him from going back in there.
His has already been removed.
Yeah, he's already been removed. Mm-hmm. See, so they're restricting journalists from going in and asking hard questions. Unless you want to go along with the state media, then you can't go to the White House, to the press conference meeting and ask questions. They want to know if you have what's your job. And if you, let's say you're independent journalist, they have to have you to get credentials from well-known or news organizations before you can even go in there. You see this? This is totalitarian. Totalitarian. Let me tell you about this whistleblower. You heard about what's happening with the whole Biden crime family, right? You heard about that. The Biden crime family, the Republicans come out today and they're sharing all this information about all of this fraudulent activity that Joe Biden did, Hunter Biden did, members of Joe Biden's family, and they're all having to answer to China. They're all answering to China. Beijing Biden, China Joe, he is owned and controlled by China. It's no secret. The Republicans are sharing it, but the liberal mainstream media, they say nothing about it. Look at this article here with the FBI actually suppressing information that Congress has requested from about a whistleblower.
FBI refuses to give Congress informant file alleging Biden took bribes as vice president. The FBI refused to give Congress an informant file alleging that Biden took bribes, the Post has learned, setting up a possible showdown over the access to information. House Oversight Committee Comer issued a legally binding subpoena last week, requiring the FBI to turn over the file by noon Wednesday. But the Bureau instead replied with a 6-page letter. They said informational and confidential human sources is unverified and, by definition, incomplete. He also argued that informant reports must also be kept private to protect sources. Dunham said, as is clear from the name itself, confidentiality is definitional to the FBI's confidential human source program. Confidential human sources often provide information to the FBI at a great risk to themselves and their loved ones. The information they provide can create significant risks to others who they reference in reporting. He concluded, "We hope this helps you understand that keeping this kind of source information free from the perception of reality or improper influence and preventing the redirection of this information for non-law enforcement or non-intelligent uses is necessary for the FBI effective execution of our law enforcement and national security responsibilities."
Wow. You know what's really amazing though? This whistleblower, they know who the whistleblower is. They know exactly who the whistleblower is. There's no secret. The whistleblower has been actually out talking about, yes, there's information. They're willing to share the information. And there's another the whistleblower, the one that they don't want information to come out is this whistleblower that went into hiding basically because he was an FBI informant. They don't want, and they probably know who it is, but they're trying to protect his identity. I don't think so. The whistleblower went to the federal government. They went to Congress and said, hey, there's information that actually shows the criminal activity of Joe Biden. And then you have the FBI holding that information back. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? This is what you see. This is a totalitarian government in action, violating our constitutional rights, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fifth Amendment. They don't care. They're expecting Joe Biden to proceed with the 14th Amendment. And if he does that, it's going to be totalitarian. Everything that's in there is going to be about wokeism. He's going to be like, I don't care what y'all want, what y'all do. We're doing this. This is like the destruction of America right before our very eyes. And then this issue on the border. Come on. Did you know this invasion that we're seeing that's taking place right now, they had it planned for over a year? You know, I constantly told people that Joe Biden and the Democrats, especially Joe Biden, when he Build Back Better, how do you build something back better if it's not broke? Under President Trump, it wasn't broke. And I've told people multiple times that the reason why this is happening because the WEF wants to destroy American sovereignty. They don't want America to have sovereignty. This was planned over a year. Look at this. This is the actual proof of that.
Yep, Biden's admins planned for mass release of migrants into the U.S. outlined in an internal memo in 2022. The memo outlined how releases would occur in a safe, humane, and orderly manner a decision to authorize all Border Patrol sectors to begin safe mass releases of migrants to cities if non-governmental organizations or NGOs are over capacity will take place in line with a 2022 memo that was uncovered during a legal proceeding initiated by Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody last year and outlined how to handle releases when Title 42 ends. It means that they will be released at bus stops, gas stations, supermarkets, and elsewhere. This memo let us know that this was all planned. This was a plan at the expiration of Title 42.
I mean, really. I mean, seriously, this is crazy. This is right down crazy. And now it's like coming to the understanding of why the big tech companies they're suppressing information. If you ask me, the FBI, the federal government, they're still going to Facebook and to Google, YouTube to suppress information that they don't want to come out, because unless you are state media, they don't want this to come out. This was planned over a year ago. So tomorrow night, midnight, is when it's lifted. You have thousands upon thousands of people right now migrating to our southern border to come into the country. The country's already in bad shape because of this administration, because of this regime that's there right now. And it's only going to get worse. They don't want you to be able to defend your family. They don't want you to be able to own anything. They said you won't own anything and you'll be happy. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? They're going to try to take everything away from us, the American people. They are literally, we're the generation that's seeing America become non-America. It's crazy. I can't stand it. These totalitarian people, and they're just getting away with all of it. Like it's like they're above the law. You remember how they constantly say no one is above the law except for them. They believe that they are above the law and they can do whatever it is that they want. All right, I'm making this broadcast short tonight because I'm gonna go watch President Trump. He is gonna. Sad to say, but Trump is the one doing it. He's going on CNN, so they're getting the ratings. So I'm going to go watch President Trump in this first town hall. This is going to be really interesting. It's going to be extremely interesting because they're going to bring up President Trump. Oh, President Trump, you have this issue where you sexually assaulted this woman. And President Trump has already put out a statement saying, I don't even know who this woman is. And if you remember, if you've seen any information about that story, there's so many holes in it. This story is from 1996 and they're bringing this stuff up because it's election year. Do me a favor, please hit the share button. Please share this no matter how you're watching this. God bless you. God bless you. Good night.